Hey, back with video number two. I'm going to walk you through the accident from my perspective. I'm going to stick to facts and try not to speculate. Um, but yeah, we'll just get right into it. It was July 5th, 2020, early afternoon. I was out on the boat with a few friends. Also, my two young nephews were on the boat with me. We were just enjoying the day, enjoying the weekend at the time. And it started to rain, and we decided it was best to go to a family member's house, my sister's house on the lake, to wait out the storm. So on the way to the house, um, I felt something hit the bottom of the boat. I thought it was perhaps a log or a ski that somebody had dropped, and we ran over it. I immediately put it into neutral and turned around to look. About 30 feet away, my best guess, I saw a swimmer, and it was clear that we had struck the swimmer at that moment. I took off my shirt, dove in the water, and as I approached the swimmer, I saw that there were lacerations from the prop on the swimmer. I called back out to the boat to call 911 and gave them the address of the house that we were en route to. I got the swimmer back to the boat, got him a towel, tried to talk to him. The other people on the boat were talking to him, and we started to head to the house that we gave the address for. As we approached the house and the dock, I could hear sirens. As I parked the boat, I could hear the sirens. It felt like they were driving past the house. So I got off the boat, ran to the front of the house, and started waving in the ambulance and the fire trucks. They came from the driveway. We ran down to the dock. Once the paramedics got down to the dock, they cleared the dock off, and everybody moved to the lawn and sat and kind of watched them essentially performing life-saving measures on Jack, the swimmer. While that was happening, I remember receiving a tap on my shoulder, and the officer pulled me, it was an officer, pulled me to the front of the house, away from the scene, to ask me what happened and to walk them through what happened. And I told them everything. Basically what I've just told you, exactly how I remembered it. And that's when the officer's tone shifted towards the end of that conversation and asked me if I had anything to drink that day. And I remember freezing for a second. And I had a choice. And I told the truth. I had been drinking. They asked me to do some sobriety tests. I agreed. Later found out that I passed most of them, but I did not pass all of them. That's when she asked me, the officer, to take a breathalyzer. At this moment, I saw my sister nearby, and she was clearly on the phone with a lawyer. And it turns out she was on the phone with Mike Hills, who ends up being my legal counsel for this case. My sister asked Mike if I should take the breathalyzer, and then looked at me and said, "If you've been drinking, do not take the test." So at that point, I refused. I was handcuffed. I told I'd be taken to the hospital to get my blood drawn. I don't remember a ton of that. I do remember riding in the front seat of the car, and I don't remember all the hospital details, but I do remember being handcuffed to a bed while they were waiting for the warrant to be signed to draw my blood. One thing I do remember very clear about that moment is that the officer who arrested me came into the room and sat down in a chair next to me. And I asked her, "Have you heard any update on the swimmer?" She looked at me in the eye and she said he did not make it. That moment split everything into two. It felt like I had left reality at that moment. And I was waiting to wake up, which that wake up would never come. They drew my blood. I was then taken to Kalamazoo County Jail. I was booked in a holding cell, and was released at about 2:30 a.m. and went home. And that was the day of the accident.